What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Lambo Plays podcast. This is episode 53, UFC Kansas City, and I am your host, Narco Cop, joined by my co-host, Timothy Troiano. What is up, Timothy? Are you ready for this fucking card? I love it, man. I love this UFC Kansas City card.
Nice, dude. I'm excited for it. Just back from Vegas, so I'm trying to recoup right now in the next, the last day and a half, get myself ready for the card myself.
So you're a little washed right now based on
Very
how
much so.
round and you're not very excited as usual, so I don't know what's going on with you, but I think Vegas got the best of you.
I won a lot of money playing poker, but I tell you what,
poker.
Dude.
Poker? You play poker?
I did. I know you did. I know you'd be like, you would like that. So I won a bunch of money playing poker, but as you know, dude, I was going to bed at like 3:30, 5 o'clock, like every night, and just back at the table at like 10 o'clock in the morning the next day. So
where did you play at?
I played at the Venetian, I played at Algeo, and then Mandalay Bay.
Nice. Yeah. That's now you're talking my language.
Exactly, right?
Yeah, before we go on to this card, there's 14 fights on this card. I always want to go out and shout out my chat. It is the first man in here, Das Files. If some dogs would win at PFL, I'd have some Lambo monies. Got a lot on this card. Let's fucking go. You're damn right. Mushroom in the house. What is up, Narco and Tim? Lambo Plays best prop show on YouTube and has the best chat. You are right about both of those. Rob Lawrence says to Daz, what's up? Rob Lawrence is in the house. Let's see who else here. My God, there's a lot of people in here. What is up, Narco Tim? Daz Robin. Mushroom Victor is in the house. What is up, Victor? Zach Singleton is here for the ride. My man, Tyler Gates. What is up, my man? Luke Golding, Londo, Adam Whitehead, Traps, and George Gennaro, the best prop show in the business. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. 29 of you in here right now. With that being said, we will move on to the first fight of the night. It is in the bantamweight division. It is the 12-4 Jocelyn Edwards versus the 14-7 Lucia Purolova. What do you have here, Tim?
Yeah, man, I have a few fights this week where I'm just saying like, whew, really tough to kind of tell. I don't really have very confident reads. If I might have had a little bit more time not playing poker, I would have maybe some. But this fight, kind of like the first two fights, actually, I don't know. They're just kind of questionable to me. Don't have much confidence, but I'll go with my classic women's MMA and split. Seems to be a solid play. Could be just a pretty shitty striking. If it's striking, I think it's going to be pretty shitty and pretty close. And then if it's grappling, I think Purolova has the edge. If the fight hits the ground, I wouldn't be surprised if she could get a finish on the ground, but I'll go with end split. I'll say that maybe Edwards has a little bit of enough junk in the trunk from missing weight again that she can fight off some takedowns and keep the fight standing, and then it's just an ugly ass 15 minutes of watching these guys strike. So I'll go end split, but not a lot of confidence in it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. End split plus 350. I don't like both girls. Edwards is the better striker. Purolova the better grappler. I don't like Purolova's wrestling really, so I don't know if he even gets this fight to the ground. So with that being said, I think this fight is going to play close. It's one of those fights where I'm not really interested in any way, shape, or form, even betting wise. So only thing I could see here is ends and split. It's plus 350. And then we'll move on. Fight number 2, it is in the bantamweight division. It is the 6-3 Gaston Bolanos versus the 12-4 Aaron Phillips. All right. So I've been saying this all week. I love Phillips by submission here. I've got it at 1,100 on FanDuel. Currently, the line is completely crushed. It's down to, let's see here. What is it right now? 750. It's actually 600 on FanDuel. So it absolutely got obliterated today.
It's 10 to 1 on DK.
I know. That's what I was going to give. DK is the only one leaving the lineup for plus 1,000. And listen, Phillips is a black belt. Yeah, I know he doesn't have a lot of submissions, But when you go look at his Instagram, he has John Danaher. He has what's that other dude that's like a really, like, I think he was a world champion in BJJ. I'm gonna look him up really quick, but he was also in his gym working out with Gary Tonin. Gary Tonin's over there grappling with him. You could, even if you go to Gary Tonin's Instagram, you could see he's grappling with Phillips. Gaston Bolanos is a Muay Thai striker. Like, he's a good striker. And I think he could get the best of Phillips on the feet. But I do think Phillips is tough. He's not easy to get out of there. He had pretty competitive matchup before he got his legs chopped off by Gutierrez. And meanwhile, Bolanos has fought in a PFL, got grapple fucked by Solo Hatley Jr., who's not a good fighter, got choked out by Daniel Carey, who has a Muay Thai background. And that choke, the standing guillotine, jumping to guard to get a choke on this guy, is absolutely atrocious. I don't know how he let that guy get the choke in on him. And then he gets triangle choked by Brandon LaRocca, who's also a stand-up fighter. Now he's facing a grappler. Bro, Phillips plus 1,000 is stupid big and stupid wide. I like Phillips overall in this fight. But the plus 1,000 is really, really, really juicy here. What do you like here, Tim?
I like the exact same thing for the exact same reasons that you were just saying. Only thing I'll add is if you want to get super greasy with it, you could do sub 2 at 25-1 and sub 3 at 40-1. I'm not going to add anything. I don't want to rehash everything you just said. It's more like my notes on Gaston are albino, belt, and BJJ just is poo. If that's about as detailed as I'll get with you guys right there. So yeah, he's just not really good on the ground at all. So if what you're saying is the case, which I obviously trust, and Phillips is training with those guys, it's got to be matchup wise, it's got to be in the front of his mind. But now he's training with these guys and working at it too. It's like you want to try to implement that stuff that you're working on. So I like it a lot. I did bet it too a lot.
One more thing about Phillips is his body looks completely transformed compared to what he looked like 3 years ago. He's added muscle. He looks really good, man. And another thing is he didn't even want to do an interview with JHK because he said he was just like zoned in on his camp. He didn't want to mess it up, and he'll have the interview later. So I like hearing that. I mean, he runs some kind of gym, Head Kicks. I don't know if he owns it. He runs it. But he's been off for 3 years. That's the only hesitancy I have. But Gaston's only fought once in almost 3 years. So what difference does it make? Moving on. Fight number 3. We are in the strawweight division. It is the 8-2-1 Bruna Brazil versus the 6-2 Denise Gomez. Kick it off, Tim.
So I like Bruna inside the distance here, and I like her round 2, round 3. I don't hate the sub prop for her as well. It's pretty wide as well. I don't know, man. Gomes for me is like, she's like durable, and the things that she does is, it's like when you're talking about fighters and like the first thing that you say is she's durable. Like, what are we talking about at this point, right? They get hit a lot. Like the first thing you're saying is they're not good defensively. They get hit a lot. And so it's like, yeah, she's tenacious. She can take shots, shit like that. But like, man, her Contender Series fight was so bad. Like, it was just such a bad look for her. Like, just getting rocked by Amanda, like it's just not good. So I could easily, like, Bruna's like really solid with setting up her kicks and like with setting up, going to the body, and they drop their hands, going for the head. Like, it's not coincidence that she's she's not luckily getting multiple head kick knockouts. Like, she's setting them up with body kicks a lot of the time. She has a major process to what she's doing. I also think she could be physically stronger. I'm not sure, but I think that she could be, and I'm leaning that she is. So she likes to go for guillotines as well. So I think that there's going to be a definite chance that Denise will be like getting just murdered or picked apart like from distance on the feet and trying to come in and then maybe shoots a bad takedown or just gets swept in reverse, because she does that on the ground too. I don't think she's really great on the ground. So yeah, Brazil I think is a justified favorite, and I think that she probably wins inside the distance. So round 2, round 3. If you want to take a stab at the sub, that I don't hate that as either. So I like the later round props, but I do think that she gets her out of there eventually. How about you?
All right. Tim is on the Brazils. I'm on the opposite side, man. I like Denise Gomez. I better pre-flop. I got a great number, a plus 180. I think, honestly, I think Brazil is kind of a flake. I think she's like, when she gets hit, she flakes out. The other thing I see is I think she slows down in fights. I don't think she has the best cardio. When you look, she has a couple of guillotines, but against who? I think Denise Gomez is definitely the better grappler. I mean, she's like a 4-stripe purple belt. She's grappling actually with good people. And she's right there on the doorstep of being a brown belt. You could see in her fight against the Dana White's Contender Series. I agree with you. I don't think she looked great, but she looked good in a loss against Loma, man. Like, that was a tough fucking back and forth fight. And Loma's not a slouch, man. Like, we know she's good. And she almost got Loma. She almost subbed Loma in round 3 with an arm triangle. Like, it was close. Like, I feel like if that was locked in to Brazil, Brazil's tapping. But Loma didn't tap. She's tough. And that was a back and forth fight, man. They were busted up, bleeding. She showed a lot of toughness. To me, she has better cardio as well. I think she can probably get this fight to the ground. And on the ground, I think she has a pretty big edge. The other thing is, people are like, this girl's only 23 years old, man. She's very, very young. And you have to take into the fact that this girl's going to be improving fight over fight, or she should be. The other girl's 29. So I like Denise Gomes here, and I like her in round 2, round 3 here, man. I think she has that in her. Look, if you look at her career, like, she has she has 4 finishes in round 2 and 3 out of her 6 wins. I think that's pretty impressive. And she almost finished Loma in round 3. So I think Brazil is going to break here if she doesn't finish early. And I think Gomes carries decent power late and has the jiu-jitsu to probably get her out of there late in this fight. So if you want to get really sneaky, you go sub 2 and 3 and really fucking hit a home run. But yeah, I like Gomes here, and I like Gomes later. Moving on, fight number 4. It is in the lightweight division. It is the 12-6-2 Lando Vanata versus the 12-1 Daniel Zellhuber. I will kick this one off. I went back and forth on this one. I eventually bet Zellhuber money line. I just think his reach, his youth, his coming off of the first fight where he was probably frozen in the UFC cage, he might look better here. I mean, when I watch this guy's tape as a whole, he looks really good to me, man. Like, he looks good everywhere. He's got very, very good striking. I just don't know what happened against Ogden. He literally froze in the moment. Now you got a guy in Lando Vanata moving up in weight. To me, he looked like he was so relieved to make weight. So I have no idea. I heard an interview, dude. You know how much this guy is walking at? 193 pounds. Lando Vanata was walking at 193. I'm like, holy shit, how does this guy, he's short.
Yeah, he's 5'9".
Yeah, like, what the fuck, dude? And he's dropping to 45. And now I saw him on the scales today, and he barely made weight. He was like huffing and puffing. I'm like, what the fuck? So the thing is, like, is Lando like a skilled fighter? Yes. I think he's skilled everywhere. He can match Zellhuber, but it's like the youth, the reach, the size. It's a big, big advantage for Zellhuber. But I do think this fight is competitive. That's the thing. And I don't think any one of these guys gets knocked out. So guess what, Tim? We go right back to the split decision and say split plus 450. And we're counting on Casey judging to be very, very similar to the floor, or what was it, Texas judging.
Yes, sir.
What do you got here?
I'm glad that you said that, because that's a definite thing that I'm trying to go with as well, this card. Just anytime that you're not in the apex, or you're not just, obvious places that we're used to being. Let's just add a little bit more of the sprinkles on the end split. Yeah, I'm with you, man. End split. I just think that it's not. I don't know. The first three, the 4 out of the first 5 fights, like I just don't want to touch money wise. I don't want to bet. I don't want to I'm just telling myself don't bet these fucking fights. Like if you see something live, fine, but I'm trying not to just waste money and hemorrhage money on these props and stuff that I just don't really have too much confidence on. So yeah, but this is one of those that's like you're saying, which Zellhuber shows up? Like, do we have the Zellhuber that can lose to Trey Ogden, who we saw last week just get absolutely pieced up on the feet from anybody that has any process whatsoever? Or, and you want to give him credit and be like, okay, old Ogden played smart and didn't do anything and, countered him and all that stuff, but whatever. But I don't know. I don't know what to bet. I don't know what to bet on this on the Zellhuber side. I think it's bold. I respect your boldness. I just think that it's I just don't know what to expect from him at this point. So I want to see something from him before I actually take some money out and bet on him. But the reason I like the end split is because I think that the volume and the grappling edge is going to be on the Lando side. And I think the moments and bigger shots will be on the Zellhuber side. So I think that typically is where you get some fuckery. So one judge is all you need. So end split sounds good.
All right. Let's move on. Fight number 5. It is in the strawweight division. It is the 9-0 Piero Rodriguez versus the 11-7 Jillian Robertson. Go ahead with this one, Tim.
I have a feeling we're going to be on opposite sides in this one, but I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I typically have a love-hate relationship with Jillian Robertson. And I typically try to match her up well, and sometimes it works and other times it doesn't. You have to get the determining factor, I think, in capping her fights is if you think the fight gets to the ground, but how does she get the fight to the ground? Is she has to have a significant to pretty big strength advantage on her opponent because her takedowns aren't great. So she needs to be stronger. And in this situation, moving down weight, and I think that she will have chances to get her to the ground. So I don't know that it'll be easy. I think it could be similar to the Agapova fight from not from it being that easy once she does get her down, but that she starts to have more success as the fight gets going and then eventually gets her down on the ground and eventually gets the sub. So I'll go sub 2-3 for Jillian. I think eventually she gets Pierre down. And I feel the Kay Hansen fight for me was the determining factor for me deciding to go on the side. I'm not uber confident in it, but just the Kay Hansen, getting her down. And then after getting her down, she passed pretty easily to Sygard. And I don't know. I just felt like that was a really bad look for Pierre. Also, she kind of gets tired. She did in that fight at least. So I'll take a shot on round 2, round 3 for Jillian. How about you, man? What do you got?
All right. Yeah, I have a question for you.
Yes,
have you looked up the stats at all on this fight?
No. A little bit, but not
all right.
Too
all right. Depth. Let's see if you know this answer. Jillian Robertson has 13 UFC fights. In how many fights has she not landed a takedown?
Not landed one takedown?
Yeah, don't look it up. How many fights does she have no takedowns in 13 fights?
I don't know. I would guess low.
Low? How many? So she's actually getting takedowns, you're saying, in every fight?
I would say that she gets probably a takedown in, let's say, just over 50% of her fights.
Yeah, dude. That's what surprised me, bro. Only 2 of her fights, she hasn't landed a takedown. She's
only
landed
2?
Yeah, she's landed 11 out of 13 fights. She landed 2 takedowns against Miranda Maverick. Now,
that's crazy.
Miranda Maverick is stronger than Jillian Robertson, right?
Much, yes.
Yeah, and she got that fight to the ground twice. Now, people have to put this very important aspect into account. She's dropping to 115 here. She's historically always fought at 25, where girls are usually stronger than her there, right? The Talia Santos fight and Macy Barber are the only 2 she didn't get takedowns. And those 2 girls are obviously stronger than her, and she just couldn't take them down. Now, Pierre Rodriguez, I feel like she is kind of strong, but again, she's at 115. And now Jillian is going to be the bigger girl, And in my opinion, she's going to be the stronger girl. So her takedown should, in theory, come easier now at 115. And the difference on the ground it's big levels, man, like really big. And Jillian's like, listen, I take people down and they know what I go for. I go for the rear naked choke and they just cannot stop it. That's how good I am with the rear naked choke. And she gets it, man. Like this girl always gets, like, not always, but she's getting that rear naked choke almost all the freaking time. Go look how many she has, man. It's crazy. She goes for the same thing. She gets your back. She goes for the rear naked choke, and you absolutely could do shit about it because she's good at it. And I feel like she's going to get it again, man. Submission it's not a Lambo play. It's a used Lambo. It's plus 260. But, man, I think she's going to get it, man. I think she gets this fight to the ground, and I think she gets the submission. I know you have 2-3, but I think early is even more scared. Like, if she lands a takedown round 1 and gets her back,
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that at all. No, I don't disagree with that at all. I'm basing it more on the fact that it might take a little bit more time, or it might not. It just might. Maybe it takes a half of a round or 3 minutes or so to get her down, and then she has to work that process. And then the second round, or the third round, when she actually does have the she doesn't tire out like Jillian does. She will keep going like throughout the whole fight and keep going for takedowns the whole fight. So yeah, I'm with you on that. I like the sub. I like the sub as well. Anytime we do these, I would not just bet the rounds. It would obviously, tail them both together. But yeah, I'm with you 100%. I have a question. I have a question for you though, because I agree with you 100% on the moving down in weight will help her wrestling. But there's the chance that it'll affect her cardio.
What's crazy?
And or chin, because she's been super, super durable. In taking the shots to be able to get in a position. So do you think that affects? Do you think that affects her negatively, or do you think don't?
She looked in great shape. She looked happy. She didn't look sucked out. The other thing is, you know what she said? And in her interview is really crazy. She said, for me to make 125, especially her last fight, she said, I didn't even sweat to cut weight. She goes, I walk around at 130, 131.
Right.
She's not that big.
She's fine.
She doesn't have a lot of muscles. She can eat. She goes, I don't even know why I haven't been fighting at 115. It's probably better that I fought, and now that I'm making the one. And the other thing about Jillian, again, I was surprised. Dude, the girl's very young still. You know how old she is? 27.
She's like, what, 29? 20,
okay, 27, dude.
She's on my list, dude. She's on my list.
Yeah.
I want to cheat with that chick, dude.
So, yeah, we'll see. I mean, I like the sub here. We'll see. I mean, Pierre Rodriguez
Gummies will be eaten with Jillian, by the way.
Yeah, gummies will be eaten for Jillian by Tim.
No, with Jillian. With Jillian. She's
Jillian. Oh, that's the after party?
She partakes, for sure, 100%. Yes.
All right. Let's move on. Fight number 6. It is in the light heavyweight division. It is the 24-15 Ed Herman versus the 24-7 Zach Cummings. I will kick this one off. I have no idea what the UFC is doing. One guy's 42, the other's 38. I heard an interview with Zach Cummings. He looked absolutely awful on the scale, guys. Like, the one thing with Zach Cummings is, you know what's crazy? I think 3 or 4 fights ago, he was fighting at 170 pounds, okay? 4 fights later, he's up 35 pounds to 205, and he absolutely looks like he got up off his couch to make this fight. Like, it literally did on the scales. You know what he said in his interview, Tim? And they asked him, they're like, okay, you've been off for so long, right? I say these things because these things are important. You've been off for almost 3 years, right? What is your motivation? Like, what made you come back to fight, right? And he said, you know what? My daughter's 5 years old now. She understands more. And now she can watch me for one last time. I'm just coming back for this last fight so my daughter can watch me, and now she understands. He's retiring after this fight. I'm almost 110% sure off that interview he's retiring. And he kind of mentioned, I'm probably gonna ride it out in the sunset, he said, after winning, right? Bro, this guy looked like dog shit. I don't think he was training, honest to God. I don't think he was training. He's like, fuck it. I'll go in. It's his hometown, right? It's in Kansas City. That's where he's from. They're giving me fucking Ed Herman. He's 42 years old. You know, who gives a fuck? But, dude, Ed Herman's going to be a lot bigger than this guy. You know, Ed Herman's, and he's tough. He's durable. Even though he's slow, like, I don't like Ed Herman at all either. I just don't know what the fuck to play in this fight outside of Split again. Split is plus 450. I'm going with Split again because it's two washed up guys fighting each other. One guy is fighting for his daughter just so she could see him one last time. Doesn't look like he trained at all. The other guy is completely washed at this point in his career. I don't know, dude. Plus 450 Split. Yeah, give me Split. Maybe there's some fuckery in Kansas City as well. Because this guy's hometown, but we've seen this movie over and over. It's the replay of you know, Frankie Edgar's movie and the other guy's movie. Every time they're taking this fight at home and it's their retirement fight, they get fucking knocked out. So it's like, I don't know, dude. Split decision plus 450, I guess. I don't know. What do you got?
I wanted to pass on this fight, and I just wanted to just move on and not waste any breath on it. Instead of passing for the people, I will give not a gun to head, but not a gun to my head, because I don't care about my life enough to actually make a pick on this, but like a gun to my parents' head. Okay, I will pick. Because you put a gun to my parents' head, I will have to make a pick now. And I'll say that Zach gets a submission for his daughter. And this is just horrible confidence level on this. Like the worst level of confidence that you could possibly have in a pick. So I wanted to pass, and I gave you that ahead of time. So yeah, Zach sub. Ed is just one of those guys that if you can work him on the ground a little bit, he will kind of give up some spots. So I don't think it's terribly live, but what the hell?
You know what the other scary thing is too, Tim? Fucking Zach Cummings has not landed a fucking takedown in fucking 7 years. His
Only
last one.
Yeah.
Santiago
He's got no back. He's got no back.
I don't know.
But other than that,
I think they're just gonna, honestly, I think they're just gonna stand. They're gonna stand and like bang, I guess. I don't know.
Seriously, people don't bet this fight. Don't put any money on this fight whatsoever.
Go to the bathroom. Go to the bath. Take a bathroom.
I'm cooking.
Or make your wagyu steak.
This is 100% Wagyu time right here. After Jillian gets that sub in round 3 for us. All
right, let's move on. Fight number 7. It is in the flyweight division. It's 14-6. Brandon Royval versus the 19-2-1 Matthias Nicolau. This is yours, Tim. Go ahead.
So I mean, this is really tough. I like these. I like both of these fighters, and I've actually been, you know this, working with me. Like I've actually been on these guys a lot of the time in situations where everybody's been shitting on them for their apparent reasons to shit on them. Like Nicolau has his reasons that people shit on him, and Royval way more so has his things that everybody's been really fading the shit out of this guy. And I've really liked betting on Royval on multiple occasions and multiple fights because he's just got that dog in him, and he just creates insanely chaotic fights and moments where people make mistakes. And I don't know. I really like Matthias Nicolau. I'll say that to pivot. I really like Matthias Nicolau. I think he's super skilled. And I think like the only thing that I don't like about his game is like he can be timid at times. Like he can like just take his foot off the gas. That's fucking it. Like he can do everything it comes that you need to be able to do in MMA at a high level. So I just think that eventually Nicolau is going to get, this is a tricycle play, and then I'll give a Lambo play on it. I think Nicolau inside the distance, eventually he gets him out. I don't know any round at all. I don't have any confidence in any round because just the chaos that Royval brings. But I wouldn't be shocked if Nicolau subs him. I think that inside the distance is a good play because I think he could catch him on the feet. But I think I just wouldn't be surprised if he subs him in a similar manner to Pantoja, where it's like a chaotic, maybe even Royval's in a good spot, and then all of a sudden he's just not, and he just gets uber aggressive, and you see a mistake made by him, and then Nicolau capitalizes on that. So, yeah, inside the distance, +1, I don't know, like plus between 165 and +200 for Nicolau, and then submission prop is solid by me.
Yeah, man. I like Nicolau. I think he's a good fighter. He's good everywhere, right? He's a good striker. He has a good ground game, dangerous on the ground, has power on the feet. But there's one thing I don't like about Nicolau, and that's my issue with him, is the fact that he's low volume. He's skirting around the cage. He's not throwing much. He's looking to counter. He's looking for that big shot. He's not grappling a lot. Even if it's a weapon for him, he's really not grappling. Just doesn't grapple a lot. I mean, he's got 3 takedowns, a couple of times, but when you look historically, the guy just doesn't grapple a lot, right? Doesn't land any takedowns against Dvorak, lands 1 takedown against Schnell, even though he probably didn't even need the takedown against Schnell because he was sliding him up on the feet. But the problem on the feet is he's low volume, right? And when you look at his fights, he's kind of been counting on the knockdown to win these fights. Like Dvorak fight, I mean, the Dvorak was fighting with basically 1 arm in that fight, right? His arm was like fucked up. He dropped him in that fight. And somehow, if I remember correctly, Dvorak almost won round 3, if I'm not mistaken, right? He landed up on top and ended on top, whatever it was. That's not a good look. The other one is Tim Elliott fight. He clearly loses round 1 to Tim Elliott, just fucking around, running away in the first round. And the similarities between Tim Elliott and Royval are similar. I mean, they're similar fighters. They're wild. They throw unorthodox kicks and punches. They're switching stances, doing all kinds of crazy shit. And if you take them down, they're constantly throwing up subs, which that's what Royval does. He's going to constantly throw up subs, make you uncomfortable, not make you, feel like you can just settle in his guard or something, because he's not going to just let you settle in his guard. He's going to keep going. So I think this fight is a close type of fight, man. And the volume edge is definitely going to be on Royval's side. The cardio, I believe, is going to be on the Royval side, because I do see Nicolau slowing down in his fights in round 3. And the pace that fucking Royval brings, it's different, man. And he's constantly coming forward, throwing everything in the kitchen sink at you. Can he get countered? Yeah, of course he can get countered. And Nicolau maybe can hurt him. But let's not forget, man, did Schnell drop this guy? Okay, Schnell dropped him. But in 20 MMA fights, this guy's never been KO'd. Is that an accident? I don't think so. This guy is durable. Yeah, he gets maybe hurt in some fights, but dude, the guy is tough as nails. He's never been knocked out in his career. In 20, huh?
I think he has once.
Did he?
I think so. But I'll check. Go ahead.
No, that was a shoulder injury, bro. That
popped out.
That's not a KO. I don't consider that a KO. Yep. I get it. It's an injury. It counts as a KO.
No, it's not.
He didn't get knocked out. You know what I'm saying? He's not hurt. Yeah, it's shoulder popping out, whatever. That's an injury. But no, the guy's never been knocked out. So are you counting on Nicolau to knock this guy out? I guess it's possible. But listen, when you look at Nicolau historically, right, he's not really a knockout guy. Okay, he finished Matt Schnell. Tell me the time before that this guy had a knockout. Do you know how long ago? Fucking 9 years ago. This guy, yeah, he's been dropping, but I don't think he's that big of a hitter.
And Schnell gets knocked out by a lot of people.
Yeah, and Schnell has a bad chin. So for me I feel like this fight goes the distance, Tim. I think both guys are super durable. I think this is a very close fight. I'm going to go with Royval by decision, plus 600, Tim. And if you want to get greasy, by split, he's plus 2,200. Let that ring in your ears, because I think this is a close fight, man. I don't think this is a cakewalk for God, I'm drawing a blank.
Yes,
Nicolau, like some people think. Yeah, I don't think so. I like Royval decision and Royval split.
I don't disagree with you, man. There's a lot that you said there that's really, really on point. And the end split is plus 652.
That's it. I mean, I think the people are kind of like gauging the fact that Royval's crazy and he does a lot of crazy shit, that he's a killer be killed fighter, but he's not really a killer be killed fighter, right?
He's not. No, he's a kill. He's a kill. He's a kill fighter,
but he's not a
be killed fighter.
Exactly. I like kill or be killed fighters. I like unders on those, right? But I don't think this guy's that. Yeah, he's hectic. Yeah, he's crazy. Yeah, he can finish, but he's not really been killed.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I think honestly, like Nicolau's shown to be more like chinny than Royval has.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Royval doesn't hit hard, in my opinion. Like,
no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like just how they like just the durability, this ability to take.
I think this attritional work might do something, but I don't think he finishes here, honestly, unless he gets like some kind of weird submission because he throws up a ton of subs. But outside of like a weird sub, I don't think he finishes. I think this goes to decision, and yeah, ends in split is not bad as well. Like,
yeah, I like. I'm gonna probably play some of those. Yeah, I like that.
Moving on, fight number 8. It is in the featherweight division. It is the 17-9 TJ Brown versus the 16-7 Bill Algeo. Man, I didn't know which way to go with this. I like the Algeo side. I'll put that out there because I just don't like the vibes I get from TJ Brown. He's beat absolutely nobody. He's lost against some pretty bad fighters. I mean, just looking at Algeo, like he's only lost to good guys, man. Andre Fili, Ricardo Lamas, Brandon Loughnane. Those are good fighters, man. Like he's not losing to bums. Then you look on the other side and you look at TJ Brown and say, okay, let's see who he lost to. Shailon Nerdembeki, who just got knocked out by fucking Garcia. Danny Chavez, I don't even think he's in the UFC anymore. Jordan Griffin, I don't think he's in the UFC anymore. It's like, okay, there's a reoccurring theme with this guy. He's beat absolute bums and he's lost to bums. Like, it's like, so there's like for me, it's like a big levels gap, it feels like. I think Algeo is better everywhere except the wrestling. The wrestling, I favor TJ Brown, but once you started mixing in the jiu-jitsu and the scrambling, I favor Algeo. So it's like Algeo's longer, Algeo's the better scrambler, Algeo's better jiu-jitsu, in my opinion. He doesn't get subbed. He's more durable. He has more cardio. I mean, I could go on. And I think Algeo's aside here. I think submission is sneaky here because if TJ Brown gets tired, he's going to shoot sloppy takedowns, and he may get subbed. He almost got subbed by Shailon, who's doesn't even know what submissions are. I'm going to take Algeo by submission plus 650. I think he's going to put it on this guy. He's going to make this guy shoot a sloppy takedown and take his neck home. So give me Bill Algeo plus 650 by sub. What do you got here, Tim?
You hit the nail on the head in the Shailon, man. That was some pain. That's why I bet him by sub last week. It didn't work out. No, yeah, that right there. Because I think that's a situation where if you look at TJ Brown, he snatches defeat from the jaws of victory. Just classic. That's what he does, guys. That's what he does. So, yeah, I like Algeo sub. I like Algeo sub 2-3. I think it's most likely to happen in the second or third round after TJ probably has success and gets everybody that bet him, gets their hopes up, because that's what he does, again, is just breaks your heart and is really dumb after he has good things going for him. So, yeah, sub 2-3. Not super confident. I think it probably is a decision from Algeo, but yeah, I think it's worth a shot. I think the line is actually pretty solid.
All right. On the same side there, on the Algeo side, let's move on. Fight number 9, lightweight division. It is the 38-22 Clay Guida versus the 15-3 Rafa Garcia. What do you got here, Tim? On Clay Guida's 61st fight.
Yeah. I think you know what I got in this fight. I think if I asked DK to put a bet up on you for you right here, that you would get my bet right at a minus 750 clip on this one. Anytime that Clay Guida fights, I will bet this prop. It's not knee bar anymore, but it is Rafa by sub. Yeah, I just Clay Guida just is the kind of guy that you're going to get into grappling with, and he's going to get himself subbed. It just is. It's what he does. He has more sub losses than a lot of guys have fights. So I just think that, I mean, professionally, like, it's pretty impressive. So I think that Rafa is going to get kind of the fight that he wants. Club and sub is live for Rafa as well because he hits really hard. Panic shot within wrestling, grappling, any type of transitions, he'll have opportunities. He's not like Rafa's not like a super great jiu-jitsu guy, and that doesn't like pass well and like transition really well or anything like that. This is more of a Clay Guida inefficiency kind of bet than an efficiency side on the Rafa. So how about you?
Yeah, I kind of like the sub prop. It's not bad. It's low though. It's 3-4. You mentioned something that is key here. Rafa Garcia hits pretty hard, and his record doesn't show it. He's only got 1 KO. Like, that's it. In how many fights does he have? 18? Yeah, he's got 1 KO in 18 fights, really. So he hasn't shown like he can knock people out. But the thing is, he's fought pretty durable guys. The Jesse Ronson one was a total club and sub. Like, he rocked Ronson pretty bad in that fight. And then the other guys are just like gritty, tough guys. Like, you're not going to get some of these guys out of there. Like, Hack Press, Close, Levy, super tough. Grutzmacher's the only one, and that came very close to him stopping him. So Garcia KO's plus 1050, man. I know Guida's pretty tough, but we saw him get rocked very bad against the other older guy that somehow he subbed after the guy fucking completely gassed out in that fight against Leonardo Santos. But Santos had him, like, a lot of refs probably stopped that fight, So the other thing that's live is maybe ground and pound. Maybe he advances position, just starts fucking raining on Clay Guida. So give me the KO prop. 1050 is pretty big. I agree with you. I think sub is a lot more live, obviously, and the line indicates. But I do think 1050 is a little too wide here on the KO prop. Not something that I love. Again, I feel like the sub is a lot more live than the KO, but line is off. Fight number 10. It is in the bantamweight division. It is the 19-7 Pedro Munhoz versus the 19-3-2 Chris Gutierrez. Kicker versus kicker, dude. Like, that's what this comes down to. Like, both guys kick really well. Both guys kick really hard. One guy's a lot younger. One guy's a little bit more faster. He's a little bit cleaner. But one guy has fought everybody and their mothers. That's Pedro Munhoz. The other guy has fought, I mean, dude, what's his best win in the UFC? Can you tell me? Tim?
No.
Dana Batgaral? It's got to be Dana Batgaral. In a fight where he got hurt in the first round, he was losing, and then he lands a spinning back fist to get a knockout, okay? That's not replicable. He really doesn't have any good wins, dude. Like Felipe Colares, Andre Ewell, the ghost of Frankie Edgar, Vince Morales. I mean, Ryan, none of these guys are even in the UFC, right? Hani Barcelos choked him out in Ultimate Fighter. So I like Munhoz here. I like Munhoz by decision here. It's plus 350. I think for the first time in Gutierrez's career, he's going to feel fucking leg kicks too. He's going to be like, holy shit, this guy hits these leg kicks just as hard as I do, So I just, Munhoz, the more savvy veteran, faced the better opposition. Yeah, he's a little bit older, but I still think he has like mileage in the tank. Like, he won round 1 off Sean O'Malley, right? He won round 1 off O'Malley not very long ago. So I like Munhoz. I like him by decision. I don't think he finishes here. Munhoz by decision plus 350. And then again, if you want to get greasy, you know where you go, Tim. And I'll leave that to you. Go ahead.
Split decision ends by split decision in this fight is the way to go. Yes, 100%. Only way to go. You knew where I was going on this.
What is it, Tim? Tell the people what it is.
I honestly don't even know. What is, do you have it in front of you? I thought it was like,
And
plus, is it plus 400?
Hold on, I'll tell you right
Yeah,
now.
it's plus 400. Yeah, that's what's where I was at. Plus 400. Yeah, nothing really huge. I think you're going to, like you said, it's going to be 15 minutes striking, both leg kickers. I think more power on the Munhoz, on the hands. If there is a grappling edge, it's him. I don't know if it's going to happen. Probably won't. So yeah, and split plus 400, always good for me.
Yeah, it feels like it's a reoccurring theme on this card, man. Split. What the? We have a lot of splits here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 splits so far, guys. It's crazy.
Probably
hopefully Kansas City judges are a little blind and they see differently. One is colorblind. The other guy is, blind in one eye, and the other one is drunk. So we can get a lot of splits that way. We'll move on then. Fight number 11. It is in the light heavyweight division. It is the 16-9-1 Ian Kutelaba versus the 20-9-1 Tanner Boser. Timothy, you kicked this one off.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'm going to start off by saying that I do not bet Ian. I can't bet on him anymore. I have bet him enough in my life to know that I shouldn't bet him anymore. So that being said, Boser's not great on the ground. Obviously, he's got bad takedown defense. He's got no hips. And what I'm banking on more than anything with Boser is that he's durable and will fight from the ground and will try to hold guard and try to live and last through the round. And then once he does that, I think he's super, super alive in this fight. So once he can get past that first round, that first 5-6 minutes of Ian going Hulk mode, I think that he starts to take over. Boser starts to take over. KO 2-3 is plus 650 on FanDuel. Round 2 is just round 2 plain. Round 2 is 750. Round 3 is plus 1200. Give me Boser on this side, and I just, this will be the time that I say this, that Ian comes out like a fucking champ and like actually maintains the position that he's gotten down and finishes. But yeah, I'm going to bank on some stuff that I know. Boser's moving down weight. He looks as sharp and as thin and as fit as he's ever looked. Maybe that helps him. Who knows? We'll see.
So what's your play again?
KO round 2-3 is plus 650, and then round 2 is plus 700. Round 3 is plus 1200.
Yeah, I love Tanner Boser KO in this spot. It's plus 310 on Bet Rivers. Round 2 KO is 1200. Round 3 KO is 1600. Dude. What can I say? Kutelaba right here. Tim, are you ready? Kill or be killed is Kutelaba. That's him right there. This is the guy we're talking about earlier. This is the kill or be killed fighter. He might land. Not might. I think he lands a takedown early, maybe 1 or 2. He's going to continually go for him. He's going to eventually gas out. The only thing that I'm praying for is that he kind of survives that first round, is completely gassed, and then Tanner Boser puts it on him in the second round. I think, honestly, Tanner Boser hits decently hard for heavyweight. I think his power is going to translate a lot better at light heavyweight, right? He's punching fucking 250 pounders and he's hurting. He's got 1, 2, 3 knockouts in the UFC as a heavyweight, right? He hurt Latifi pretty bad in that fight. Like, Latifi went to the fucking ground, acting like he got poked in the eye when it was a punch to the eye. And then he almost got Nascimento out of there in round 3. So he has power. And we've seen Ian Kutelaba absolutely flatline more than once. So I think Boser's power translates here. Again, it's plus 310 on Bet Rivers. Round 2, KO plus 1200. Round 3, plus 1600. I have all those plays. I like all the Boser late round props, man. I think he's going to absolutely starch Ian Kutelaba here. And He looked fucking fantastic on the scales, dude. 203. He weighed in 203, Tim, not even 205. 203 and absolutely shredded. So give me all the Tanner Boser in this fight. Moving on, fight number 12. It is in the light heavyweight division. It is the 18-6-1 Dustin Jacoby versus the 12-0 Azamat Murzakanov. Kind of have a sneaky play here, man. I think Jacoby is historically durable. Murzakanov obviously can put your lights out with his straight left hand. I mean, that thing is an absolute piston. But, man, the guy is severely undersized for light heavyweight. I mean, he's honestly a small light heavyweight. He's shown 2 finishes in the 3rd round. He looked terrible in the Tafan fight, but he found the finish late. He looked pretty good in the Devin Clark fight. Again, he found the finish late. Is a bigger cage. I think Jacoby can work on the outside a little bit, but I think the bigger shots are definitely going to come from Murzakanov. He has some grappling upside here by landing some takedowns. Murzakanov decision, dude, it's plus 540. 540. Murzakanov decision, and I think he has the grappling upside. I don't know, man. That feels like it's way off to me. I think they're overrating all the knockouts and shit like that. But Dustin Jacoby is durable. Like I said, yeah, has he been knocked out? I think he's been knocked out before a long time ago. Has he been hurt recently? Yeah. But he took some big shots from Khalil Rountree. I'm going to bank on his durability, but I'm going to bank on the wrestling and the bigger shots coming from Murzakanov. So give me the decision prop here at plus 540. What do you got here, Tim?
Plus 540. Sorry.
You look a little lost on this one.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I was just marking down your bet. I think Jacoby is the side. I don't know, man. I get that Murzakanov won the last couple fights, but how he's doing it in the ass pull manner that he's doing it in, like, I don't know. I just feel like Jacoby's a good style fighter to do what he does and kind of stay at range and just hit this guy a lot and just kick his legs. And I think the leg kicks are going to be there all day for Jacoby. Feel like, I don't know. I feel like Jacoby has underrated power, and I feel like Murzakanov. So I'm taking the other side, and like the most people are on like Jacoby points, Jacoby decision, which I get. That's kind of what I would predict is to happen in the fight. But I think Jacoby KO is live. I think also KO 2-3 is also live. I don't know. Murzakanov just gets hit by these guys, and you can stay at range on him and just kickbox him, and I think that's exactly what Jacoby does. And he's durable enough to take shots and take the shots that Murzakanov throws. Unlike, what was it, Buckley that he fought last night? Yeah, I mean, I just think Buckley's just. I mean, I hated that bet because of Buckley's chin, but I thought that was going well.
No, it was Rountree.
Rountree, who is Murzakanov. Rountree.
It wasn't Buckley. It was Devin Clark.
Devin Clark. Okay, who did he fight before that? Was that Rountree?
No. Rountree. No. You're getting them confused. Rountree fought
Jacoby.
No. Hold on. I'm
totally confused.
Rountree fought Jacoby. Murzakanov fought Clark and Jekyll, whatever, Tafan. He never fought.
Ncheku, yeah. That's the one. That's the one I'm thinking. Okay, so Ncheku is the one that I bet on, not Buckley. My bad. And Ncheku in that fight was winning that fight until he lost that fight. And I just felt like, kind of like, I just feel like that Jacoby's kind of a very good spot to put in that exact that type of fight. And I don't think he's going to be like, I don't think that the wrestling on Murzakanov is that good. And I don't think, like you're saying, I don't think he's that big. And so I don't think getting Jacoby down consistently is going to be easy. So yeah, give me Jacoby. I think Jacoby's the side. So Jacoby KO, I think it's like plus 300, and then 2-3 KO. Not bad.
All right. We're opposites on that one. We will move on. Fight number 13. It is in the co-main event. It is in the featherweight division. It is the 22-11 Edson Barbosa versus the 17-4 Billy Quarantillo. And Tim, you can kick this one off.
I will defer to you. I know that you have a very confident play on this one, so I'll defer to you on this one. Yeah,
I mean, I like Billy Q here. I I've mentioned it all week. I mean, I got in early at -125, so that line is not relevant anymore. However, the line is coming down. Someone just kind of smashed Barbosa. He's down to 160. It's an age factor. It's guy coming off a big surgery on his knee, like in the end of October at 37 years old. It was on his right knee. That's his main kicking leg. He even said in a press conference, he said it was very bad. He had to operate in 3 different places on his knee. I don't know where in his knee it was operated on, but obviously he pulled out of his last fight because of the knee injury. He had to have surgery. But I think he's coming back too quick too, man. Like 6 months after knee surgery. And you said it was a very bad surgery and it was in, 3 different spots. I don't like fucking hearing that. And then, you're primarily a right leg. You have that devastating right kick. And now that thing is, I don't know, is he able to use it that much now? Is he going to be scared to use it because he fucked up his knee for the very first time in his career? That's another thing he said. He's never had an injury like that. And it's the first time in his career, and he's 37 years old. Billy Q is going to bring the pace. He's going to keep coming. He's going to keep throwing. He said in his interview he's going to be prepared for the low calf kicks, unlike he wasn't prepared against Burgos because they didn't expect Burgos to do it. Everything I heard, like Billy Q is on point, man. I think the pace, the cardio, I think he's going to break Barbosa, to be honest. And round 2, 650. Round 3, 1150. Give me Billy Q here, late round props. What do you have here, Tim?
Round 2, round 3. Billy Q, no different. Same reasons, everything that you just said. Only thing that I'd add is that Barbosa getting dropped by Bryce is a sign of just I know that. I mean, listen, I get the narrative. Like, he's not expecting Bryce to throw a punch and he's expecting him to take him down. It's like he still got fucking knocked down by this guy. Like, he doesn't throw hard and he allowed him to hit him with a strike that knocked him down. Like, it's just a shit that doesn't happen to guys earlier in their careers, and it would never have happened to Barbosa like 10 years prior, 5 years prior. So, I'm with you, man. I just think, and I have a ton of respect for Barbosa. I think he's a great fighter, but I just think it's not. This matchup is like, obviously it looks like a good matchup for him because he's going to get a guy that's not going to be like Bryce trying to just consistently taking him down and grapple fuck him, and he's going to have a kickboxing fight where he can use his strengths. But like you said, man, it's just a different beast of guys that just are. Billy's a different beast coming forward, and he's just going to keep spamming volume at him. And it's also the range. If he doesn't get off on the kicks earlier, if you can see, like, just he's not going to be in kicking range all the time from Billy. So I just think that he's going to have to strike with his hands. He's going to have to box. It's not just going to be able to stay at distance off of his back foot and just kick. So I'm with you. I like Billy Q in this spot. Round 2, round 3.
All right, we're both on the Billy Q side. And before we move on to our main event, I'd like to thank all 80 of you in here currently. Thank you very, very much. Hit the like, subscribe, please, and hit that notification button so when we go live, you guys can always know that the Lambo Plays podcast is live. That being said, let's move on. Main event. Featherweight division, the 23-7 Max Holloway versus the 19-1 Arnold Allen. And you can have this one, Tim.
Sweet. So I like Max here. I just think that there's some pretty big disrespect on the Max side this week from the shit that I've been hearing and people talk. There's nothing about the Volkanovski fight that I look at on the Max side and say, oh yeah, he's washed, or like this is, this guy's done and you can't take damage anymore. Just nothing like that. I also think the Calvin Kattar fight is like a very interesting one from a matchup standpoint, like not stylistic matchup, just like if you're going to get a guy that has really good cardio and is durable as shit and he legit had 15 opportunities to finish him in that fight. And I that was one of the most painful losses on 3-4-5 bets for Max for me. Similar to the Ortega versus Volkanovski. I can remember them vividly. So I think that this is another perfect 3-4-5 spot for Max. I just think that his volume and his tenacity and his ability to just take shots and keep coming forward and hit you and figure out your timing and figure out your patterns and eventually just keep lighting you up is going to eventually break Allen. And I think that Allen also has shown to tire in 3-round fights, and now you're taking in first time going into championship rounds. I don't care if he goes slower in first round or second round because he just throws everything into his strikes. And I think that if he goes slower in the first 2 rounds, I think he's taking away his win equity, which is stupid for him. So I don't know that he's going to do that. So yeah, I just think eventually I think Max breaks him. 3-4-5 for Max KO for me.
Here's my question to you. Do you think Max Holloway is going to allow him to go slower in rounds 1 and 2?
No chance.
No chance. That's the thing. He's going to have to fight. I mean, he's going to have to fight the way he fights, and even worse. Like, Max Holloway's not going to give him a break. It's not like he's going to say, oh, okay, here, I'm going to let you pick your shots, throw your shot. No, he's going to pressure forward. He's going to be in his face, and he's going to have to fucking throw. And we know how Arnold Allen throws. He throws with a lot of power. He has a ton of power. I mean, even though his KOs don't reflect it, but the guy has a lot of power. He's improving. He's undefeated in the UFC, which is a feather in his cap. I mean, that's not easy to do. And he has a lot of UFC fights. I mean, it's not like he has 1 or 2. The guy is 3-6-9. He's 10-0 in the UFC, which is pretty impressive. But, and this is a big but, Sky was, really slowed in the 3rd round in some of these fights that I watch, man. One fight that comes to mind is Yusuf fight. He was slowed down in the 3rd. Amir Khani fight. He was slowed down in that fight. You're slowing down in 3 against these guys that really don't have anywhere near the pace and volume that Holloway has. What's going to happen around 3, 4, and 5 against Holloway, dude? To me, Allen needs to get Holloway out of there early, or damage him very bad where Holloway cannot even, his punches have no steam and he just doesn't have enough on it to finish him. But if he doesn't, I think he's in huge trouble in round 3, 4, and 5, man. It's 14, 16, 19. Hit them all day. I don't care. They're pretty low. They're pretty low for round 3, 4, and 5 in a 5-round fight, but that's for a reason, dude. Like, this is it. This 3, 4, and 5. And listen, I'm going to say this also because I have to say it. It won't shock me at all if Max Holloway gets a submission in this fight, man. It's 1,700. Hired Arnold Allen, shooting some sloppy takedown later because he's fucking exhausted and gets, choked out by Max Holloway. It would not fucking surprise. Listen, he grappled against or try to grapple against Yair Rodriguez, right? And, he can grapple. He's not like complete slouch on the ground. So you don't know, man. If this fight, if Arnold Allen decides to shoot some sloppy takedown and maybe gets his back taken, I won't be shocked if Holloway subs him later in this fight. So anyways, Holloway round 3, 4, 5 is where I'm going here. I like Holloway in this fight. It's a little bit, there is some questions to be answered because I do think his durability kind of feels a little sketchy at this point. I don't know because he was getting hurt a lot versus Volkanovski. But also, he took a nice amount of time off between that fight and this fight, almost going on a year. So I think that's good for him. I think Max should roll, man, honestly. I'm close to betting him. I haven't bet him yet. I thought this line is going to come down. Actually, it did come. Not really. Yeah, it came down a little, 164. Might bet it now, honestly. It's getting close for me. But yeah, I like Max Holloway late round props. Tim, what's your Lambo parlay?
All right. So I have, I think this is, you could do any one of these, like 3 and do like maybe round robin them or whatever on FanDuel. It's all those late round ones that we hit on. I think Billy Q 2-3 KO, Boser 2-3 KO is 47-1. Max is around the same, like for 3-4-5. So if you put any two of those together, you're going to get around like 47 to 55-1 if you do two leg parlays. And then if you put them all together, all three, it's 364-1. So
wait. Go over them again.
Billy Q KO 2-3.
Okay, 550, yeah.
Boser KO 2-3. And that get like those like, and then if you hit max KO, a 3-4-5 is plus 650 as well. So if you hit any two of those three, it's around like 47 to like 55-1. And then if you do all three of them, it's 364.
So you're round robbing.
I'm going to round robin them. Yeah, because I think it's very like it's possible that you get 2 out of 3 of those.
All right. Let's go with mine. Mine is going to be Royval decision at plus 600. Boser KO plus 290. That's on FanDuel. And Billy Q 2-3 KO plus 550. You get 176-1. And if you want to round robin them, I'm pretty sure you can get some good prices on the round robin. So, yeah, that about does it for our show here. 74 of you in here still. Best chat in the game. Always in there. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate each and every one of you. I didn't go over the chat a lot today. I'm sorry. I'm fucking exhausted. But let's one last thing. We need to cash those motherfucking tickets, Tim, for UFC Kansas City. And I'll see you guys all tomorrow during my live spaces. Every live space, every UFC card, we have live spaces on Twitter. Tim, do you have anything going on tomorrow with Sean?
Yep, 105 Central Standard Time, live spaces.
There you go. 105 Central Standard Time. They go on Twitter Spaces for a breakdown of the entire card, him and Sean Orr. So, yeah, guys, go over to Twitter and watch these guys break down the entire card. And, yeah, see you guys tomorrow. And like I usually say, let's cash those tickets for UFC Kansas City.